People love to say that imposition is wrong, that no one should force beliefs, expectations, or life choices onto someone else. It sounds like a moral foundation, autonomy, freedom, consent, but almost no one applies it consistently. Instead, the rule only matters when it's convenient, when it doesn't threaten tradition, or when it doesn't challenge desire, when it doesn't force uncomfortable questions. Take antinatalism. The reaction is immediate, defensive, emotional, sometimes outright hostile. Don't impose that on people, they say. Reproduction is a personal choice. And yet, we live in a society that pressures people to reproduce constantly, especially women. The questions start early and never stop. When are you having kids? Why not yet? Don't wait too long. Family repeats it. Friends normalize it. Media reinforces it until it feels like background noise. And in many cultures, women who don't have children aren't just questioned, they're judged, labeled selfish, incomplete, failures. Their worth reduced to whether they reproduce. This pressure is rarely called coercion, but that doesn't make it voluntary. If imposition were truly immoral, this would count, but it doesn't because it aligns with what society wants. That's the pattern. Principles are defended loudly right up until they become inconvenient. There's another claim people like to make, that no one is really forced into anything. That claim doesn't survive contact with reality, because human life is built on layers of imposition, starting with the most fundamental one, existence itself. No one asks to be born. There is no consent, no agreement, no opportunity to refuse. Birth is a decision made entirely by others. It doesn't matter whether the motivation is love, hope, tradition, or expectation, the outcome is the same. A person is placed into existence without consultation. And this isn't a small imposition. Existence comes bundled with suffering, uncertainty, responsibility, and vulnerability. Those aren't optional features. They arrive automatically, assigned before understanding is even possible. Once someone exists, the impositions continue. Beliefs are introduced early, values, rituals, identities, all absorbed long before critical thought is possible. The power imbalance is absolute. A child depends on caregivers to survive. Under those conditions, resistance isn't a choice. Acceptance isn't consent, it's necessity. As people grow older, the structure tightens. Survival becomes conditional. To eat, you must work. To sleep indoors, you must comply. To refuse is to suffer. When the alternative is hunger or homelessness, calling participation voluntary becomes questionable. Work is often described as opportunity, as purpose, as self-expression. For many, it's simply the price of staying alive. Wake up, perform, conform, not because you want to, but because you must. Governments reinforce this reality. Taxes aren't optional. Compliance isn't negotiable. Refusal is punished. The systems may be justified as necessary, but they are still compulsory. Biology adds another layer. Your body demands constant maintenance, food, water, sleep, care. Ignore these demands and the consequences are immediate and severe. Survival itself becomes a full-time obligation. And society reinforces the expectation that you endure, no matter how you feel. Exhaustion is minimized. Disillusionment is pathologized. Questioning the structure is discouraged. Together, these forces shape nearly every aspect of life. And yet, the belief that imposition is wrong is rarely examined at its root. Instead, reproduction is framed as unquestionably good, a gift, a duty, a natural step.
That framing allows people to avoid confronting the contradiction. This argument isn't about rejecting connection, love, or relationships. It's about honesty. If autonomy and consent truly matter, then their limits must be acknowledged, even when doing so is uncomfortable. Selective morality preserves comfort, not consistency. It allows people to oppose imposition in theory while defending the one that benefits them most. If the principle that imposition is wrong is to mean anything, it cannot stop where preference begins, because existence itself is the deepest imposition of all. Ignoring that doesn't resolve the contradiction. It just hides it.